Hello and welcome to Allegedly Astrology. Today it is Sarah and Dana here to give you an astrological roadmap of the month ahead for September. And this is a Patreon exclusive episode. You're getting a little clip of it on the main feed. So if you like what you hear and want to hear the full episode, make sure to find the link for our Patreon in the episode notes and become a patron. You'll love it there.
You'll love it there. Let's get into September. Generally, as compared to like my horoscope for August, I feel like this month feels more romantic. I can't give too much away up top because not all of you guys are paying customers. I used to get to the horoscope for Saturn re-entering Pisces. On September 1st, Saturn re-entered Pisces, and it will be there until February 13th, 2026, when it re-enters Aries until 2028. When Saturn was in Pisces before, it was ruled by Jupiter in Gemini, which made things tough. It was a Saturn-Jupiter square. There's more friction. Jupiter in Gemini is a little scattered. It could have been a little more manic, a little more impulsive, or sort of stop-go, trying to find the meaning between it all. So now that Saturn's ruled by Cancer, it enables us to integrate the shadow and learn from the struggle and the war in your mind. You know, Lana Del Rey famously says, "I've got a war in my mind" in the song Drive. And this is more about spiritual transcendence. So it's about what can be easy when you let it be easy. Let's start with the horoscopes for the rising signs. For Aries rising, this is positive changes and expansion in your home life, relationships with your parents, your inner world, lost or hidden objects, also your general real estate portfolio, should you have one, will ease obstacles related to isolation, shadow, subconscious. And so I always think of this as like the tiny man. There's a tiny man in my head. This is how I envision the 12th house, which is where Saturn is in Pisces for Aries risings. The 12th house to me involves a door in the back of my head, and there's a little man. And he has a hat on and he's dressed like he's in the 50s and he's knocking with some information for me. So it's like my subconscious trying to emerge to the first house, you know? But also it'll ease obstacles related to psychic debris, hospitals, prisons, dreams, and mental health. Getting to know your roots can really help you unwind your psyche in general in a way that's helpful for you instead of counterproductive.
Wait, this is just like everything that you just said about the subconscious and knocking just reminded me of this. Last night, before I went to bed, I read somewhere or heard somewhere that if you ask your subconscious mind when you're about to fall asleep, like, give me a dream to help me understand like something I'm working through or something I should know and make it very obvious. I did it last night, like not thinking anything about it. And then I had this dream where I was at my parents' house in their basement. I'm traveling to see my parents this weekend, so, like, that's also another thing. But in the dream, I was, like, locking all the doors in their, like, basement, but then there was a door that just, like, was off the hinges, and when I went to lock it, it fell off, and I was like, "This door is off its hinges," and my parents were like, "No, that's fine, just prop it up," and then I woke up and I ChatGPT'd the, like, dream interpretation, and it was wild because it was, like, very on, like, the dream interpretation, I was like, "Damn, this, like, actually makes a lot of sense."
Really slaying. And also very cool, a very cool tip for this because
Yeah, Aries rising, ask your subconscious about dreams and see what unfolds.
I have an Aries rising friend. I'm going to text him and say, and give him that advice and see what he comes back with.
See what happens.
Okay. Taurus rising. Hey there. So now that Saturn's in Pisces again, this is really related to positive changes and expansion in your immediate environment, your perception, your writing, your communication, and also sibling relations. And this will ease obstacles related to friends, dreams, goals, general popularity, and reinforcing stable ambitions and what you see as possible. All right. So if your world seemed like it was closing in a little bit with Saturn and Pisces before, now that might open up now that you've let go of something or been forced to, because Taurus famously has a grip of steel in terms, which is to say they don't do it easily, which is great. We need people to be steadfast. And then we get to Gemini rising. So for Gemini rising, Saturn and Pisces in the final stint will be positive changes and expansion in your income, nutrition, self-esteem, and personal assets, which will ease obstacles related to pressure in your career, your reputation, responsibility overload, finding out what you really want, and like a final round with serious mentors, sinister bosses, or incompetent superiors. Cancer rising. Now that you have Jupiter in your first house, There'll be positive changes and expansion in yourself, your health, your body, luck, popularity, attitude, and approach to the world. And this will ease obstacles related to serious studies, obstacles challenging your faith, and it will stabilize your intuition by taking away reliable power. So, like, you have to remember that, like, faith is what remains when you don't have proof. If you have proof, it's not faith, it's science or whatever. It's letting go of the need to prove. But if someone makes you feel like shit, don't let them get the best of you. Here's a fun story. So I was driving the other day onto a street that has a median, and I was making a left turn. So I went and just like parked my car in the median before I turned left, right? So I'm like in between the two lanes, and this I don't know, this like little convertible. This guy slowed down. I think I scared him. I think he thought I was going to like dart into his car, which I understand. That could be scary. But he slowed down, rolled his window down, and was wearing like the tightest black t-shirt I've ever seen, and gave me a middle finger, and it was like the M&M middle finger when the other fingers are halfway up. And then I started laughing, like as a reflex, because that is the funniest thing I've ever. Yeah, and then he drove away really fast. So I don't know. Maybe
I love just like laughing at someone that's doing something like rude to you because it is like so disarming.
it's so silly. So that was funny moment for me. Now we get to Leo rising. So this is going to be positive changes and expansion in your mental health, especially with regards to submitting to the unknown, seeking professional help, releasing the urge to self-sabotage, and like gaining clarity in your blind spots. So this will ease obstacles related to clarity in relationships, whether that's divorcing or breaking up, apologizing, reconciling, and rebuilding trust. Trust in some capacity has to be rebuilt. So either it's rebuilding trust with yourself, rebuilding trust in a relationship, burning a relationship down and rebuilding trust with someone new. There could also be concerns about division of assets or inheritance. The advice is to surrender to the process. Don't try to control the product or the outcome. Let go. Oh, now we're on Virgo risings. Virgo risings, the eclipses are happening in your signs. In terms of Saturn in Pisces, it's going to be positive changes and expansion in your friendships, communities, aspirations, and dreams of a better life, i.e. expansion of what you believe is possible for you in this life. Will ease obstacles related to love and marriage, commitment and relationships, calling it off. So either putting a ring on it and signing a contract or burning the contract, and also other major contracts. Also, it could be related to really tough client work. Or like if you've had a difficulty interfacing with the public or like even just dealing with people in general since March 2023, this will be when that becomes easier. Now we get to Libra rising. Say, Sarah, this one's for you. Now what you can look forward to is positive changes and expansion in your reputation, authority, and career, such as a promotion and other praise, which will ease obstacles related to daily habits, toiling, routines, being hammered with the responsibilities of daily life, busy work, anxieties, and the ability to be of service.
That is interesting because now that it's moving back, I'm getting back into a a campaign at work that will take up a lot of my daily time for the next few months, probably until like December. So not surprised. But honestly, for me, I feel like Saturn in Pisces, I should knock on wood, has been pretty good. Like I like got like a lot more healthy while Saturn was in Pisces. I'm really into routines, like morning routines and night routines. So, I'm hoping for the best.
Yeah.
For this last go round.
It'll just get easier and better.
I am excited for everyone that has Saturn in Pisces, though, because this is like your last hurrah and then you're free. And is there anything better than like being free on the other side of a Saturn return? Probably not.
On the first side of it and being dumb, which I love.
Yeah, like not knowing that life's about to just pistol whip you.
Yeah, that was fun. Although, to be honest, I wouldn't go back. I had the most fun I've ever had, but I wouldn't go back.
Yeah, true.
Because once you get a little more conscious, like, what are you going to do? Trade it? No, of course not. So now we get to Scorpio rising, and I'm excited for Scorpio risings because this will complete the grand water trine. This is Jupiter in your 9th house and Saturn in your 5th house. This is the trine of self, the 1st house, the 5th house, and the 9th house. So this is positive changes and expansion in your faith, ethics, general philosophy, spirituality, going back to school, religion, taking a pilgrimage. And this will ease obstacles related to taming the shrew, 10 things I hate about you vibes, unrequited love, lovers to enemies to friends to lovers to enemies to friends to lovers, lovers, creative blocks, or depriving yourself of pleasure. So that one was a little abstract, but this is how I write things, and you're welcome. As Bethany Frankel, famous Scorpio, would say, you're welcome. I love her Instagrams because they make me feel like I'm on the boat in Willy Wonka and the original one. It's the closest I've come to that.
I could see that. Except only she's on the boat, but she's eating like a hollowed out piece of bagel that's like filled with cream cheese.
Yeah,
Or no,
hot
cottage cheese
and like hot.
and hot sauce. And she's like, supermodel snack, not the best. And you're like, what?
She's like, I made this bagel out of like, out of cottage cheese, and I'm putting cottage cheese in, and I'm like, girl, okay.
It's actually just cottage cheese formed in the shape of a bagel.
God bless you, Bethany. I love too when she opens her mouth and you can like see the white, like it's just like you can see the food in her mouth because she's talking and chewing. It's like, you're awesome, lady.
I hate that.
Now we're on to Sagittarius rising. So this is positive changes and expansion in your ability to let go and let God go deep with your partner and or your therapist, possibly even yourself. Inherit a windfall of money, maybe even inherit something from your family that doesn't have to be financial, but it could be health related. It could be a skill and also just making wise investments in general. And this will all ease obstacles related to the skeletons in your closet, figuratively, of course. If they're literal, then you should probably be in jail. Moving to a different home, foundations, roots, parents, real estate, hidden things, and also just integrating what you've been running away from for a while. You've probably noticed that you're not running as much anymore. And so now whatever was tough will become a little easier in that capacity. There's grace. You just have to surrender because Jupiter's in your 8th and Saturn's in your 4th. These are houses where things happen in private. But yeah, I'm excited for you guys. Capricorn rising can look forward to positive changes and expansion in your marriage, committed partnerships, client relations, contracts, general interfacing with others and the public, and this will ease obstacles related to your sibling relations, your general ability to be present, your neighborhood and rituals, sensibilities, your like immediate environment, and any third spaces you go to. Oh, now we get to you, Aquarius. You can look forward to positive changes and expansion in your daily habits, injuries, and illnesses. So if you've been unwell, you can get better.
Good.
Yeah. Service projects, and this will ease obstacles related to salary, movable assets and property, resources, food, and skills that pay the bills.
Hell yeah.
And now we get to Pisces. Pisces, my general philosophy for Pisces is that they are the victim of the zodiac. They're also extremely powerful. So Pisces rising.
They also have big eyes a lot of times.
Yeah, like you guys are fish.
Fish eyes.
In a good way. Song. I think it was for the movie Big Eyes, and it's with your big eyes and your big lies. That's you guys, Pisces.
Pisces.
We love you. So Pisces rising, this is positive changes and expansion in your like openness to feeling pleasure, romanticization of life, become more tangible, creative endeavors that are purely for yourself and your soul, gambling and speculation, and mindful escapism. And this will ease obstacles related to self-trust, finding your ride or dies in love and friendship, but only after being abandoned by one or more people, which has probably already happened. Sometimes it's acknowledging what people don't like about us with good reason and then saying you're right, but not changing for them, changing because it's time to change, and then finding people who you do mesh well with, if that makes sense. Some people have a tougher time. Some people have an easier time, but it's significant for relationships. And you can often get ostracized, but then after that, it's like you learn something that changes who you are and then you like yourself better. At least in my experience, that's really what it was. You and I became really good friends when Saturn was in my rising. Like we were like locker buddies, and then we became like tight.
Yeah.
And this, by the way, just so everyone knows, was in like 2005. We been friends for 20 years.
It is true.
That's so cool. All right, so that's it for the non-payers, and we thank you for listening. But now we get to the part where the paid people benefit.
Goodbye.